happen. But in any event, I have seen many of you before, so I know that you're familiar. You know who I am. I've been teaching Tai Chi and Qigong for over 10 years now, and it's just been a fabulous practice. So without any further ado, let's get started. So let's get into a standing position, or if you are seated, that's fine as well. Make sure that you are, if you need any kind of balance tools, that you have that available. But let's go into 3 intentful enhancements. So when I say I'm going to say intentional. That makes more sense than intentful. So intentional enhancements are going to always be bring our mind into the practice, the breath, as well as posture. Posture is key. And a lot of the movements that we do are going to work the small stabilizing muscles that help us maintain our posture, especially in the shoulders and in the hips, and in the legs and so forth. So let's stand with the feet about hip distance apart. And we want to feel like the shoulders are lined up with the hips. And if we drop the arm down, that there would be a straight line right down. And let's see. Okay. So let's get back to that posture. So with the posture, we want to make sure that the feet are facing forward. We want the knees to be soft, because when we do any kind of Qigong or Tai Chi movements, we always want to be in this kind of like, springy kind of position, that the knees and everything is soft and rounded, bow-like. That's where a lot of the movements looks like we're holding an urn, or the knees are bent, or we're stretched back into a bow stance. So let's just make sure that everything is nice and soft. We want to bring our attention to the lower dantian, or the lower abdominal area. So let's engage the navel a little bit and let that tailbone slide down the back and release. Let the abdominals lift up, tailbone slide down the back and release. And let's do that one more time, where we kind of feel that rolling action, and then release, and then kind of come to a midway point between those two. So we feel like we have a little bit of abdominal engagement. We feel like our muscles are supporting the organs in the body. And at the same time, we want to feel like the tailbone is underneath. Then bring your attention up to the chest. This is the middle dantian, or Qi. So we want to lift that up. We're going to do a little exercise. We're going to go ahead and do a little movement for that. We're going to roll the elbows in the shoulder joint, bring them down, and at the same time, we want to feel, just like we did the tailbone, we want to feel like we're lifting the sternum up, lift the chin up slightly, elbows go down, so you feel that the muscle right under the arm by the shoulder blade engage, and then roll the elbows and then come forward. So, but you don't want to bend all the way. You just want to curl a little forward, so you feel the weight in the abdominals, pull the abdominals in, and then inhale and roll back. Exhale as we kind of roll in forward. And really focus on letting that rib cage do the movement, feeling the arm bone move in the shoulder joint. Let the breath guide you. We're going to start to use the breath, but then we're going to focus on it just a little bit more after we go through this to kind of get that posture going. Exhale and inhale. And one more time, in and back. And just let those arms relax down. Then the next posture point is feeling like the chin, we don't want to feel like the chin is heavy. We want to feel like we can make an L with the fingers, keeping the chin level, so it's away from the collarbone. We also want to feel like the jaw is away from the collarbone. So we want to feel, not that we're lifting the chin, but that we're lifting the jaw, as if there was a string pulling the top of the head up towards the ceiling. So that helps us also lengthen the spine. So putting the tongue to the roof of the mouth elongates the cervical vertebrae. We've got that tailbone slid under the body, so we're stretching that spine from the top all the way to the tailbone at the bottom. And at the same time, we want to feel like the arms and the legs are grounding us, like the arms are heavy. They're pulling the shoulders down and relaxed. The feet are grounded. So we want to feel that length in the head and the spine up, and the body, the arms and the legs are grounding us to the earth. So this way we're connecting the energy from the earth through us up to the universe. So let's just take a few moments, kind of feel that, visualize that sensation. And now we'll start to really focus on the breath. So whatever your condition is, if you have any kind of respiratory illness or anything like that, or maybe it's just the seasonal changes that happen, just try to inhale a little bit deeper than what you normally do. Pause for a moment, and then let that exhalation ebb out. And at the same time, try to retain all those postural points that we changed. So inhaling, pausing for a moment, and then exhale. Nice and easy, letting that ebb out. And just breathe, on your own with that, counting. Maybe it's 4, maybe it's 3, whatever it is, pausing, and then exhaling and letting it ebb out. And at the same time, bringing your mind into the practice, being aware of posture, the feet, top of the head, as you go through these breath cycles. And let's do that a few more times. Now, let's take a moment. We're going to move through a couple of warm-ups for our Tai Chi practice. Okay. So we're going to warm up by raising the earth power. So how we do that, this really helps to kind of set that wheel in motion, where we really begin to soften our movements, bring ourselves into the practice, letting that mind really work, letting the body relax and move in slowness, which helps us add to that. It's why it's called meditation in motion. And so the lift, I lift the hands up and then let this sink down. Let the hands come up and sink down. I'm going to take out the that blurring because it seems to really be taking away from some of the movement. You'll just have to deal with my messy office. And down. And as I come up, I almost feel like I'm lifting from the floor, the knees, and then I roll those hands down. Tai Chi and Qigong, there's a lot of spiraling motion because there's a lot of energy in spiraling rather than doing a linear or straight line. Let's do one more of these and then sink. Now let's embrace the sunrise or the sunset, depending. So we're going to bring those arms up like we just did. We're going to turn those hands as if we're gathering this chi that's in front of us or around us. We're going to pull it in, and at the same time, we're going to push the chin straight back and then engage our chi with that all around us, and then let it come down. Inhale as we come up. Spiral those hands, bring it around, trying to make that as soft as possible. Chin back, press out, down. And let's do one more of these, up. And remember, always thinking about 50 to 70% effort. The less effort you put into it, The more mindful you can be, and the more your chi is going to move. Now let's bring the head up. We're going to let one arm come in front. So this is where the Tai Chi and the Qigong allows us to have that cognitive abilities. We're going to focus on the hand. So just let the neck move. Try not to let the whole body shift. Just let the head and neck move. Come back. Let those hands cross paths. And over. And then back. Hands, cross paths. Cross. One more time to each side. And then back to center and neck. So we're going to do a few things to really loosen up that upper back and the neck area. So what I'd like for you to do is just take a step forward. And when we step in Tai Chi, whenever we step forward, we always do a heel down. So I'll do it from the side so you'll be able to see it. So we're going to put the heel down and then allow ourselves to kind of step forward. So again, my body weight, I've got about 60% of my body weight on the front leg, about 40 on the back, but I feel like my center of gravity, my middle dantian is right here, okay? And then in this position, I'd like you to try not to let the arm do it, just let the shoulder do all the work. So I am rolling the shoulder and the body all the way out and back. I come forward, body weight shifts forward, and then I sink back a little bit. So I take that body weight back and try to just roll just the shoulder and not let the arm pull up into it. Just let that arm just kind of dangle and roll it back. Inhaling as you lift up, and exhale as you bring it down. Good. Let's do one more of these. Release. Okay, and then step one foot up, step the other leg back. So this knee is going to be bent. We're going to do the same thing on this side. So just kind of loosen that up just a little bit. We're going to allow that shoulder to come forward, and we're going to roll that shoulder back and down. So there you'll feel that spiraling motion in the body. Roll and back. So this knee is soft. And back. I can stay, you know, if you can stay an extra 10 minutes or so, I'll be very happy to stay so we can get that full time in. I'm sorry again that we missed it. And then come up and roll back. And if you have to leave, of course, I can understand that, but I'll stay. Let's do one more. Up, back, and down. And then come back. Let's bring that leg up to center. Nice deep breath. Now let's also do another one. And again, I'm focusing on these muscles because here's where a lot of tension comes, and that could also bring on some of the migraines. So let's have the arms out to the side. We're going to roll those hands around and try to roll them, fingers, the whole thing, just as far as you can. That's going to take some of that tension out of the wrist, also out of the elbow and the shoulder, and the hands. You know, if you've been on a computer for a lot of the day, which unfortunately many of us are, this will help to kind of get rid of that tension because the tension just moves up. And especially if we have a tendency for migraines. Now let's go in reverse. Round. Let's do one more of those. And then let the hands go out to the side, a little lower than the shoulder so we don't have tension. And then I'd like for you to make a bird hand. This is actually single whip, which is one of the Tai Chi movements, but we're not going to actually go through a single whip, but this is the movement. And what I'd like for you to do is try to get that hand as far down as you can so you feel that stretch in the wrist. And again, don't let this come up here like this. Let those shoulders roll down. So now that you feel that stretch, let's just gently move back and forth, just a little bit. Breathing nice and deeply. And then come back to center. And then let the head stretch over to one side. And then lift up nice and easily. And then you can let the arms drop as you stretch the head over. And then let the arms and everything come up nice and easy. Stretch. And up. And last time, stretch. And up. Shake that. Now, let's take a moment to sync that chi. Okay? So let's whisk our hands together to feel that chi action. That heat that you feel, that's your chi. One of my most favorite things to do, to feel that chi and know it really exists. And the more that you do your Tai Chi, the more that you will feel it without even having to do this. And then let's open and close. Cross and down. Inhaling. The more that you do the practice, the more that you can feel this. One more time. His arms come down. Let's take this chi. We're going to pull it up towards the chest. We're going to pull it across the chest, out and down. Up, front of the body, pull, press, and down. And remember, elbows soft, wrist, fingers, everything is soft. Soft push, soft flowing motion is what allows the chi to move. So even here, you don't want to press those hands out, softness, let them softly come down, softly drag up, out, and down. This time, let's bring it up higher. We're going to bring it up. Shen, pull, across, and out. Up, pull, moving that chi, especially in the head area, the forehead, where we get a lot of those tension headaches, migraines, and out. Just visualize pulling up healthy, healing chi energy from the earth, pulling any negative out and pull, letting it go out to the side. Let's do one more of these. And down. Great job. Let's do a little rotation. A lot of our Tai Chi and Qigong movements happen here in the mid-body. So let's let the hands just relax down. Remember to keep those shoulders down. And allow your body to just simply rotate. Palm up. And so the rotation, I'm not leading with the hands. The hands and the arms are relaxed. You might actually feel a little tingling in the hands since we've been moving them and getting that chi flowing. And just feel what happens in the body. A lot of the Tai Chi and the Qigong is all about awareness and feeling how your body moves. That's called proprioception, how our body moves in space. So feel those mid-body muscles. Those are your obliques and they part of the abdominals. Good. One more time to each side. And back to center. And let those arms relax. We're also going to do a movement. It's either called Chi Ball or Embracing the Moon. So this becomes a transitional movement. Many times when you see people do Tai Chi, they come from here and then they are leading out or they're going into some kind of movement from here. So what happens is the arm that's high, the body is going to lean into that side. And then as we shift So we're just going to move from side to side. We're not going to actually fly out into a motion, but let that elbow be below your shoulders. Let the thumb of that top hand be right by your middle dantian or chi. And then the lower one, the pinky, would stick out and maybe touch your belly button. So the top arm, I'm going to kind of lean my body into that and see how I'm even leaning with the leg. And then I'm going to go into the other side, just back and forth. A nice deep breath as you move from one side to the other. And let those elbows stay below your shoulders. And let those arms just gently go and back. Almost as if you were moving through water. And you might feel, because the hands keep crossing paths, you might feel that chi energy, that tingling in the hands as your chi energy is allowed to flow. Good. Let's do one more to each side. And allow those hands to come down. So let's put the feet closer together. But if you have balance issues, still maintain the feet under the hips. If you do not, put them together. We're going to roll those hips around, try to open up those hip joints. And feel what happens on the feet. As you move your center of gravity, or your jing as it's called, let's go in reverse. Feel what happens in the feet. You kind of feel more of the big toe, little toe, and the heel as your center of gravity moves around. Good. Let's come back to center. Let's separate those feet. Now let's do it a little bit more. So now you might feel those feet a little bit deeper. This is always a good thing to do, to practice, to kind of activate your balance mechanisms in the feet. Good. Now let's go in reverse. Good. And then back to center. Let's let those knees stretch out. So alternating knee stretch. What I'm doing here is I'm shifting body weight from one side to the other, feeling very deliberate as I put that foot down, big toe, little toe, heel, big toe, little toe, heel, and let my body weight just gently kind of pour from one side to the other. But at the same time, I'm stretching those knees. Good. And then back to center. Last one. We're going to open up. You want to lift the heel up so you feel your body weight. This is called an empty step or an empty foot. Okay, it happens either on the toes or the heels as we go to step. But let's roll that ankle around like you're squashing a big giant bug. And then go in reverse. This helps to really, there are energy areas on the bottom of the feet called yang quan. This helps to stretch those tendons, the ligaments in the foot. Good. Let's switch sides. And it helps us to draw energy up from the earth better. Roll that around. And reverse. Just shake that out just a little bit. Okay, so let's do a couple of cloud hands. We've done this before. We'll do that again. And then we will do a few. We'll start working on parting the horse's mane. So, with 30 minutes, it's hard to go through a whole Tai Chi routine and all that. So we're just going to kind of go into typical Tai Chi movements in depth. So cloud hands looks like this. I'm going to take 3 steps to one side. This hand is going to be on top, across the sternum, because that's that martial component. And then as I shift my body weight, the bottom foot slides over, and then I shift and step. And then just move to the opposite side. And then one more time, I'm going to step, change hands, and back. And then we would come back to center. We would do an open and close, and then we would do the same thing. We're just going to go from one side to the other just to practice. And what you want to do is when you step, we're going to practice the step a little bit first, and then we'll practice the hands. This is one more time. And back and down. So the side stepping, when I step forward in Tai Chi, I want to shift my body weight to one leg. And then I'm going to step forward. I'm going to put my heel down. That's the empty step. And then I would move forward. When we step back, it's a toe down. But when we step out to the side for cloud hands, it's also a toe down. So this is like as if I was putting my toe in water, but my body weight is here on this leg, on this side. And then I will slowly, as I go to put my foot down, I'm going to shift my body weight over. So now this foot, this side takes the brunt of my weight. The other one lifts up, and then I follow and then shift. So let's just do a set of the steps just so that you feel that weight shift and what happens in the feet. We got one more on this side. Good, nice deep breath. Now we're going to shift and go to the other side. So I'm going to toe down, roll that foot down like we did in the warm-up, and then follow step. So it's almost like that foot is hovering. I'm going to step, slowly put the toe down, bring the other one over, and then do one more. So it's a very slow, deliberate process. Then the arms, let's just do one arm at a time. So one arm is going to come across. And notice when I rotate, I'm not turning all the way behind me. I'm maybe turning 45 degrees. So the arm is swinging because the body is doing the motion. And down. Swing. And just let that hand just kind of float behind. So I want to like take the hand out of being the director and let all that action let the body be the main mover and down. Now let's do that on the other side. So this time I'm going to pull this side up and down. So with the motion of the body, the arm just gently floats up and down. And I breathe, inhale, and down. Now let's put both hands together. So, and remember the martial art component is I'm protecting the chest with the top hand. The bottom hand is kind of sweeping across and not letting anyone attack my lower body, very vulnerable. So the top hand moves across, the bottom hand sweeps across. When I get to the side, my hands shift. I want to let them almost cross paths. And remember to let the body be the mover of the arms. Then once I get here, I shift. And it's called cloud hands because it's like clouds moving across a balmy sky. Good. Let's do one more to each side. And down. And now let's put that all together. So let's move to this side, whatever that is for you. I know sometimes it doesn't mirror. For me, it's my left, but doesn't matter because we're going to do both sides. So as I go to step, I'm shifting my body weight. I step out with my foot. As I roll the foot down, the arm is coming across. Everything is moving, coordinating together, and then just move the hands. Step and switch hands. Good. And one more time. and then come back to center. Let's open and close. Now let's do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to step and move. Hands drop. And just try to go as slowly as you can. Some of you go slower than I do. I'm like, oh, wow, how can you do that? That's great. Good. And then one more time. And then back to center to open. So let's embrace the moon. As the bottom hand comes up, my body weight shifts. And you want to let it just be, just let it float. So parting the horse's mane looks like this. This hand comes out almost like a sword. These hands, it's almost like I'm squashing the ball, and the hand comes out to the side. Then I shift, this arm comes up, this one comes underneath, and then I'm going to shift this out to the side. So it's almost like you're throwing a frisbee kind of a thing. That's how you want to feel. But I'm leaning here. There would be a step involved, but we're just doing the upper body for now. And then as I come back, with that, squash the ball, throw the frisbee. And notice how my body is spiraling. Notice how my elbows are bent and soft. And then I come back. And then squash the ball, throw the frisbee. Back. Squash the ball and throw the frisbee. Let's come back one more time. Squash the ball and throw the frisbee. And notice again how far I'm going. Not way over here like this. I'm just, wow. And I just looked out the mirror and saw a full moon. I was like, oh, here we've been embracing the full moon. And there it is outside. Wow. And then come back. Push those hands together one more time. Let's sink that chi up. And remember to always go to the point of sensation, not to the point of pain. You don't see me whoop, lifting up. I'm letting the arm bone move in the shoulder joint. Come down. If one arm was not working as well, I would just go to whatever that height is. It doesn't matter. Every movement counts. That's what makes it. Not how perfect you are, but that you allow that softness to happen. The elbows are soft, fingers, the wrists, everything else. Let's do one more. And down. So let's put our hands up into prayer pose. Well, everyone, it was my honor and pleasure to be your guide tonight in your practice as always. I'm so glad that I was able to get in and figure it out. I'll make sure I make a note of that just in case that happens again. And, you know, the saying is in yoga is namaste, but in Chinese, it's a little bit different. But basically, it's the light and the spirit and the energy in me. So values, respects, appreciates, and honors the light and the spirit and the energy in each and every one of you. And in Chinese, it's called Ni Men Hao Jing Shen Qi. So left hand, thumb in, right hand over the top. This is friendship, this is strength, and this is humility. And so that means that I honor you with strength, but yet are humble in front of you. So let's do a small bow and then. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. I know that some of you may review this a little bit later. That's great. You know, I love to review even myself. It helps me, you know, teach better and so forth. So anyway, wherever you are, I hope you're having a wonderful evening. I'll look forward to seeing you again. I'm not sure when my next time is coming back, but thank you so much. Thank you. I know. Yeah, definitely. So anyway, you folks take good care, and I will look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks, maybe. All right now. Bye-bye.